What is going on, guys? Welcome to Battlefield 1 Central, and I am here with a video on my opinion of Battlefield 1 as it stands right now. So I did say I wasn't going to post till 2017 because I could not get gameplay up, but I felt like making this video right now. It's not going to have gameplay, it's just going to have shots and stuff. But let's get right into the video. So when Battlefield 1 first launched, I was in the whole bucket of people that were like, oh my god, this may be the greatest game ever. Typical, hype period of a game, the first 2 weeks that it releases, everybody's unlocking stuff, playing all the maps, playing all the game modes, thinking it's really good. There's so much to do, and of course everybody's gonna think, like, oh my god, this is such a good game. Everything's fresh, everything's really fun. And after those 2 weeks, that's when people really start to judge the game for what it is. And after, it's after October, after November, it's now early December. I'm a rank 56 in the game, not the highest, but it's certainly a rank that can say, like, okay, I've played enough of Battlefield 1 to know how it works and stuff. And it's got a lot of flaws to it as of right now, and it's kind of disappointing. And I will say right now, I think Battlefield 4 is just an all-around better game as of right now. There's some stuff that Battlefield 1 can fix, some stuff maybe it can't, but I'm going to be talking about it. So I would say there's about four main things to be concerned about. The bugs, the content, the maps and game modes, and then replayability. So starting off with the bugs, this is kind of just an issue. Obviously, I don't think Battlefield 1 had the smoothest launch, at least from my experience. I know a lot of the PC people say it had a really smooth launch. I play on Xbox One, and I don't feel it had a smooth launch at all. There's still a ton of bugs in the game. I feel netcode is a problem. Now, I know because of like the ragdoll body things or stuff, like the kill cam follows your body, and sometimes if you're running to cover and you get killed and your dead body slides behind the cover, it'll appear that you were behind the wall even though you weren't. But still, even though there have been tons of times where I'll run behind cover and I can easily see from the corner of the screen that I am way behind cover, and I'll still die from like a tank or a sniper or something, and it's just ridiculous. So netcode is an issue. There are a ton of other bugs, spawning in on a horse or a tank class and not even spawning in with the vehicle, but just the class, of course, is just really dumb. There's no reason to have that. And there's a lot more bugs in the game. At least I feel that's how it is. Content, this has always been a huge issue. So when the game first came out, it had 9 maps, and everybody really liked the maps. I'll get into this later, but at this point, 9 maps is really hard to have a lot of, replayability, and I'll get into that. But 9 maps, as it stands right now, it's only one less than what Battlefield 4 launched with. Of course, in Battlefield 4's vanilla launch, it still had China Rising, like, pretty soon after, and that made it 14 maps, and I know we're going to get the new map in December for Battlefield 1, but right now, 9 maps just doesn't seem like enough. And onto the weapons. Now, of course, everybody realizes, okay, it's World War I. We already know that there's not that much available at the time period that DICE could have, played with. There is more stuff, and they are going to be putting stuff in the DLCs, but as of in the game right now, of course, there's only like 6 main guns, not counting variants. There's only like 6 different guns per each class, and there's a lot of pistols. The pistols are not a problem, but of course it's the main primary guns that are a problem. And of course, like tanks and stuff. I feel like tanks, they have enough there. Tanks, planes, all that stuff. There's enough there. It's really just the guns in this game, and the amount of maps that is struggling. And like I said, Giant's Shadow, that's coming soon. We're gonna see about that. But really, just the guns overall. I mean, pretty much if you're rank 3 in every class, which I am, and most people are at this point, if you're rank 3 in every class, you probably unlocked most of the guns in this game. You probably only haven't unlocked the rank 10 guns. And for me, I haven't unlocked the Martini. I have not unlocked the Martini Henry or the Hewitt. And beside those two and like maybe 2 pistols, I have like everything in the game. So there's really not a lot to work for. And I know Battlefield 4, that was the total opposite. It seemed like it never ended with unlocking stuff. And I've been playing Battlefield 4 for 3 years, and there are still some guns I have not unlocked, which is just crazy that there's that much to have. And I realized that people said maybe there's too much guns in Battlefield 4. They had so many, like I think it was over 100 guns, not even counting knives. And people said that's too much. Well, it's easy to say you'd rather have too much than too less, and I feel like that's the problem for Battlefield 1 right now. Maps and game modes. So I was never a big fan of Conquest in the first place. I played it a little bit. It's kind of just like the screw around game mode for me, sandbox game mode. So I've never really been a big fan of Conquest, but for me, that's kind of a problem since it's one of the main game modes in the game. TDM and Dom, they're kind of for like beginner players. People are newer to the franchise. They don't really know what they're doing, so they say, all right, let me play the basic game modes. Just get used to the mechanics of the game and the guns and stuff. War Pigeons. I will be guilty of saying I barely played that, so I can't say too much on that regard. Beside that, for the time that I did play it, I really did not like it and did not enjoy it. So I kind of disregard that game mode in all ways. So really, that leaves me with Operations and Rush, and as you all know, Rush got nerfed from like 32 players in a standard lobby to 24. And even though that's not a gigantic difference, it really made an impact on Rush. It's a lot more boring now. It's a lot more spread out. On certain maps, it's just not good. On certain maps, it can be good, like Amiens, Ballroom Blitz, it's pretty solid. I've always liked Suez. But, on certain maps like Cyanide, Monte Grappa, it's just really bad. And it's overall just it's not as fun of a game mode, because Rush used to be my favorite game mode. Now, on the other hand, you have Operations, which is a mix of like Rush and Conquest, kind of that mix. That was a really good game mode, and it started to kind of wear down a little bit. Obviously, there are only 4 operations in the game. Most of them have 2 maps, except for Oil of Empires with 3 maps. And after you get it's almost like I'm too used to it. The operations are always the same. It's always the same team attacking, same faction defending, same map that you start out with. And I realize that they have a set order, but I would really appreciate if they put a patch into the game that was like, all right, how about for Conquer Hell? You have, the normal one, which is the Americans attacking the Germans, starting out on Ballroom and moving on to Argonne. But how about randomly half the time that switches up and they add in so that it's the Germans attacking the Americans and they have to sweep backwards through Argonne first and then backwards through Ballroom second. And I know that might seem like kind of stupid and like that didn't actually happen in the war, because that's what the campaigns are actually based off of, is actual war events. But like, it would definitely extend the content in the game, make it a lot more fun. I just don't, I don't like how there's only 4 set operations right now. I feel like there's a lot more that they could do to mix up that game mode, make it better. Giant Shadow might have an effect, but it won't have a big enough effect. Next is maps. So at first when this game launched, I was all in the boat that, oh my god, these are the best maps. This game is so good because of the maps. And I started to realize and picking apart, some of these maps. Cyanide, nobody ever liked that in the first place. St. Quentin, I feel like it's just a very basic, typical Battlefield map. It's not bad, but it's certainly not good either. It's not like super enjoyable to play on. I hate Monte Grappa. It's just the worst map in Battlefield 1. I think it's worse than Cyanide. To me, it's just way too spread out. I've never had a really enjoyable match. Beside people camping at B, you're either running around, going 3-3 the whole game if you're not anywhere near those 2 bunkers. And if you are near those 2 bunkers, you're either camping in the bottom waiting for people to walk in, or you're on the outsides trying to fight in and there's tanks killing you. It's just hodgepodge of stuff. I never find the planes to be effective. I just really do not like Monte Grappa. Some of the maps I do like, though. Ballroom Blitz has always been fine. However, I feel like that's only fine on Operations and Rush. I don't really like any of the Conquest maps. To me, beside Amiens, I feel like Conquest in this game, or beside Amiens and Suez, I feel like Conquest in this game is just kind of eh. But I really like Amiens too. That's a good one. I started off not liking it, but now I've gotten into liking it. And I've always loved Suez. I love, the close quarter combat and just, people everywhere and the chaotic stuff going on. I really like Suez, and I liked it from the start. I didn't like how they changed it, but I still like it now. But, the maps pretty much beside Ballroom, Amiens, and Suez, there's not a whole lot of maps I like. Argonne Forest is kind of a pain to play on at the moment, with just, people running around with shotguns everywhere and gas everywhere. It's not that fun, although they could fix that. And that's going to bring me into the next thing, is just balancing. Again, tanks are still crazy overpowered. Well, not crazy overpowered, but they certainly are overpowered. Snipers, they could, I guess, get a little nerf in terms of, actually having bullet drop be a thing in this game for them. Let's see, light machine guns are fine, I would say. Hellregal, I love the Hellregal. It's like my favorite SMG. I use it a lot. I do really well with it, but I will admit it probably does need a nerf. There's just no reason that you should be going around picking up quad feeds with a 60-round magazine on an SMG. That's just ridiculous. So I do agree it should be nerfed to make it balanced out. However, I really do like it at the moment because it is so good. And as for the medic weapons, I will agree that the medic weapons suck. Just overall, the accuracy of the medic weapons, the clip sizes, damage, it's just really bad. It's really hard to be an effective medic in terms, if you took away the syringe and the health pack, medics would be nothing in this game because the guns are so bad. And really the only reason you ever see medics at the top of the lobby is because they're running around reviving people and healing people. So balance, like I said, is just a really big issue in this game. And also, you got the planes. To me, the attack plane and the bomber with the bombs, it's just a little overpowered at the moment because in Battlefield 4, the only way you could do that was really with the JDAM bomb, which was like the last unlock for the attack plane. It was really hard to get, and it wasn't even that effective. And now in this game, all you have to do is get in the bomber, the attack plane, fly over an objective in either rush or operations, like fly over somebody that's like defending, drop a few bombs, and you pick up like 3 kills, 4 kills right off the bat. It's super easy, kind of OP in a sense that way. So that's kind of my opinion. You got bugs, you got balance issues, you've got, maps, replayability's kind of low. It's really become stale at the moment. And, like I said, I really had a lot of fun with this game when it came out, but it really needs some content, some balance changes and stuff. That DICE is really going to have to step up their game. And I know you've got the season pass, but even that was a step down from Battlefield 4. They're asking for the same price, but they're giving you less maps and less guns. And I know that I know people are saying like, oh, well, they've got to make more graphics, or they got to make better graphics. It's harder to make maps in this game. Yeah, but that shouldn't be an excuse. Of course, by that logic, when Call of Duty has to switch from, lower graphics to higher graphics, they keep the same amount of content that they normally do. And for Battlefield, I'm not sticking up for Call of Duty, but for Battlefield, you can't just keep the same price and lower the content. And that's what they're doing here. And I'm not happy about that. I was planning on getting the season pass, but now I'm not sure I'm going to get that. It's really a tough decision at this point to spend that $50 because I'm not sure how much replayability I'm going to even get out of those maps. Really, it's just a whole lot of issues right now. I think really what they could do to make it better is if you bumped up Rush's player size, like I said, have reverse operations along with the operations that they have now. That way, you seem like you're doubling the replayability from operations. You're making Rush a good game mode now. That would really help it out. Maybe add in some free weapons that aren't DLCs. Obviously, it's going to be a while till we even get the first DLC. So even after they add Giant Shadow, the new map coming in December, it's going to be a long gap before we even get more content. And I really hope that they are filling up this game before we get the DLCs. But other than that, that's my opinion on Battlefield 1 right now. It needs a lot of help. It's certainly not a good game. I certainly prefer Battlefield 4 over it. However, competition is really bad too. Infinite Warfare, I don't even have, but all I hear is that it's bad. I tried out Titanfall 2. I didn't really like it. So it just seems like nobody can really make a good first-person shooter game right now. But definitely tell me what you guys think of Battlefield 1 as it stands right now. Tell me if you guys really like it, or if you guys agree with me that it does need some help, it really needs some fixes, or if you guys think that it's bad and like they could do everything they could and it wouldn't even be a good game. But that's all I have to say, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.